What's up, everyone? Welcome to Bench. We are the Tovar Brothers. Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. November 1st. Happy holidays, brother.
Happy holidays. It is now acceptable to play
Happy
Christmas music.
holidays. Yeah.
Mariah Carey and Michael Bublé have fully defrosted. They are now singing throughout every Macy's in America.
I love
Isn't it Christmas when you walk into it's like a Macy's and you hear the dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
it's time.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not
shit's
going to buy
getting
a
real.
single thing.
Yeah. No, yeah. And then it's just this time of year is just awesome.
Happy holidays.
Football's in the heart of it.
Yes.
Basketball's already going. Baseball's in the World Series. It's a great time for sports.
You see, a couple days ago, every single sport was going. It's the 30th time it's happened ever. Like every single major sport was going at the same time. It's a good time, baby.
It's a beautiful thing.
This is episode number 47, creeping up on 50. We're not even going to attempt 47 because there's no famous 47s. If you were number 47, it's because you joined the team late and they have anything left.
Chris Cooley and Trey Burton.
I was going to say Trey Burton, you piece of crap. Trey Burton.
Well, guys, I can remember. Yeah. And then Chris Cooley. Remember him?
Chris Cooley. Absolutely. Yeah, I guess a tight end could rock it. This is episode number 47, 3 episodes away from number 50. Happy about that. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We are so thankful that you would spend a couple minutes with us talking football. It is an exciting time in football. You have trade deadline just went by. The home stretch. Teams have recognized themselves as contenders, and they're going for it. And we are here for it. Very excited about that.
Yep.
We also got some other stuff to get into today. Some news, and then Angels Heavenly Top 10. Top 10's getting competitive here. Some teams are it was a weird weekend of football as far as wins, losses, and spreads and all that. And so Angel's going to give us his newest version of Angels Heavenly Top 10. Are we in version 8? 9?
Version 9. This is week 9, right?
Version 9.
8?
Angels. I think you're right. I think version 9. So yeah, it's going to be a good show. Thanks for joining us today. Let's get into the news. All right, the news is brought to you by 818 Brewing. And as you can tell, I didn't address it, but yes, I'm still in San Diego. Car's still in the shop. Hope to be home tomorrow.
Yep.
I just need to get home. Get your stuff together.
Yeah, we're still holding it down over here in LA for you. But these we don't really do Zoom shows a lot, so this is kind of new. But
ready to get back to the studio.
Back home in the studio. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, into the news here. Kirk Cousins has had surgery on that torn Achilles, and he is eyeing recovery now. It sounds like he's coming back. And if you listen to some of the language in press conference, especially with Kevin O'Connell, not completely door closed on him coming back to the Minnesota Vikings. Whoa.
This year or like next year, or like did he say like come back this year?
Yeah, next year. Obviously, there's no treatment that's going to get him back this year. That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
But next year, not out of the round possibility. Yeah, I think quarterbacks.
They're 4-4 right now. Yeah, 4-4 right now. I think they could just say we could just keep our head above water and make a playoff run and still have the same team next year with all the guys you have this year.
Yeah, they weren't sellers at the deadline, so there's no white flag being waved in Minnesota. But on to hear some huge news that broke late last night if you're on the West Coast, early in the morning if you're on the East Coast. But on Halloween, Mr. Davis decided Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler out in Las Vegas, and then gave Mike Lombardi the night to get a nice night of sleep, and said, Mike, you're gone too. And so no offensive coordinator, no head coach, no GM.
I like to think that I'm not a big Josh McDaniels fan ever at all.
No.
I think that he's out.
You hate him.
I do not like Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
And I think that he was out with his family trick or treating, and then he gets a phone call. It's like, hey, what's up? Hey, can you get some more quiet? Like, yeah, sure. Kids, hold on. He goes to like a bathroom, and he's well, your ass is fired. Like, what? That's what I want to think, because what he did to the Denver Broncos, what he did to the Colts, both were shady. Both were This is called karma, my friend. This is called karma.
Yeah, Angel's referring to
Bye, Josh.
To him a couple years ago, saying, "Yes, Colts, I will be your new head coach." Getting on the plane, saying, "Hey, pilot, turn this puppy around. I changed my mind, Colts. Sorry about you." And then, of course, he was the coach of the Denver Broncos in 2010. Lost 17 of 28 games there, then was fired. And now with the Raiders, he has lost 16 of his 25 games there and is once again out. Antonio Pierce, remember him? Giants linebacker. He was fun.
Yeah, when the name came up, I had to like dive into the football IQ of my mind and like, oh yeah, that guy, that linebacker was that loudmouth linebacker. Yeah,
he goes from linebacker coach to interim head coach. Good for him. Good for you, Antonio Pierce. In the head coaching circle.
It's a promotion, my friend.
Absolutely. He is the new head coach. With the McDaniels firing, they have also made a move at quarterback. Jimmy G goes on the bench where he belongs. I think every Raider fan, every football fan, everyone who watched Monday night's game would say that. And Aiden O'Connell, you're up, young man.
This is a weird situation. I don't know why they didn't do this before the deadline, because maybe they could have moved Jimmy G or one of these veteran pieces. But yeah, Aiden O'Connell, no offensive coordinator, no head coach that drafted him. So not really sure if he's set up for success. But he still has Devontae Adams out there and Jacoby Myers and Hunter Renfrow. Maybe now Hunter Renfrow will like become a player again. Maybe this is the problem.
Maybe. I mean, we were talking about it last night, and it's still a great roster. Max Crosby deserves to be mentioned with Parsons, with Bosa, with Watt, with Garrett, all those guys. He is I'm convinced. Like, he is a cornerstone for a great defense. Like, if you want to build a great defense, he can absolutely be your guy. On offense, the guys you just mentioned, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, last year's leading rusher. You have talent here. McDaniels was just crapping all over it, not letting stars be stars. The system was the star. The star changed every week. It could be, Jacoby Myers one week, or it could be Devontae Adams one week, or it could be, whatever. He was changing it up on them. And I'm hoping now, you're hoping now that with Aiden O'Connell and whoever's going to be calling the offense, that they're able to maximize these incredible weapons that they have in this offense.
Yeah, this team is this seems talented. I just didn't like the head coach, and now we'll see next year. This would be a fun spot to put coordinators that we like in because of all the talent there. And you just got to get a GM head coach combo that you feel confident in. But Raider fans, you should be very happy. You got a toxic head coach, a bad GM, and apparently a bad OC. This is how you start over. But you're not starting up with nothing. You could be you could have gutted the roster at the deadline and then fired him.
Right.
But you kept your stars. Now just get a guy a GM, a coach that you believe in. Next year, I wouldn't be surprised if they get the right head coach and they're right back in the thick of being maybe one of the teams to contend in the AFC.
Absolutely. I think they're in a better position than a lot of these teams are gonna quote unquote start their rebuild. I think they're in a great position, and I'm excited for them. I know just from what we've posted on our socials, follow at Benched Show on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter or X. But just what we posted on those platforms, it's just celebration across Raider Nation.
Yeah.
Celebrating. Yeah. They're fine. They just feel like, okay, this dark cloud is now out of us, and the sky's the limit once again. And I'm excited for Raider Nation. I think this is a fun thing for them, and it's about time. Good move we're critical of Davis, the owner, of course, but good move.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on here. Falcons this morning have named Taylor Heineke their starting quarterback for this week, Angel. This week only. I don't know if you saw. Arthur Smith made it very clear. He said this week about 15 times in about a 3-minute clip.
This guy must be the youngest of like 12 siblings, and he must be the shortest of 12 siblings, and have the ugliest wife of 12 siblings.
The smallest
and everything's car. The smallest car.
Yep.
And the smallest hand of cocks.
Okay. That's my fault. I shouldn't have set you up for that. I put you in a position where you couldn't win.
it's called a lob and then a dunk. No,
Yep, you did.
Arthur Smith is such like he overthinks the hell out of everything about being a head coach. I know it takes a lot to be a head coach, a lot. I couldn't do it. Most people couldn't do it, even though we kind of, we backseat coach on, from the TV, right. Whatever. Overthinking the Bijan Robinson usage, overthinking which is the best quarterback, overthinking the Kyle Pitts usage, overthinking the Drake London usage.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Hates fantasy football.
For this week, he's the better quarterback. Riddler's okay. Heineke is a little bit above okay. Now he's still okay, but a little bit above okay. Just be smart, dude.
Yeah, he's held off Heineke.
Use your assets.
For 8 weeks, but Heineke finally breaks the starting lineup here. And you got to imagine all those weapons are like, thank God, someone who could throw the ball more than 15 yards down the field. So Heineke in as the starter there. And that's pretty much all the like news that isn't trade deadline stuff. We're going to get into that in a second. Real quick, I just got a text or a Twitter notification that Deshaun Watson's practicing today. And so we've talked a lot about Deshaun Watson on this show. He will practice on a limited basis today. They need him back, of course, and we both believe the Browns, sky's the limit if Deshaun's playing okay football.
Yeah, I heard a quote by Kevin O'Connell that they might rest him again this week, even if he does practice. Resting for I don't know what. I don't know what he's resting for. I guess in his contract, he must have had like fully guaranteed. Plus, he wants 2 bye weeks. Just him. One bye week is team. Yeah, but frustrating.
Moving on here, as many of you know, yesterday was the trade deadline. Very exciting times, and we had some big moves. Defense was the theme of the day, and we're going to get into all these moves here, starting with the one that happened a day before the deadline. Seahawks trade for Leonard Williams, D-tackle from the New York Giants. The full details of the trade is that the Giants receive a 2024 second and a 2025 fifth from the Seahawks for the former All-Pro, I believe, defensive tackle, former New York Jet, New York Giant, now moves across the country to Seattle. Huge move. I know you love this. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I like it because that Seattle defense is already one of the most underrated units in the league. That they don't allow a lot of points. They're tough. And what this does now is give them a kind of an anchor in the middle. They don't have someone who's his caliber to put right in the middle of this defense. I love this for the Seahawks. This is such a smart move, and it's smart on the part of Giants too. Like big contract, you're not winning anything this year. Get off it and get something back for him. Both sides. This is a win-win.
Yeah, but you got to think by the time Leonard Williams, or by the time the Giants are ready to compete again, Leonard Williams will just be a very expensive older player. And so, yeah I completely agree with you. This is the right move for them. And the Seahawks, the Niners in the division, and Niners, of course, their D-line, we'll get into it. They added to it a little bit. And so the Seahawks feel that pressure as well. Seahawks have a great secondary at this point, and they beefed up their defensive line. Very excited about this. You got to remember, they also added Frank Clark a couple of days ago as well. And so Frank Clark, Leonard Williams added to this defensive line that is, I believe, they're the leader in sacks. Like,
it's no mistake that they're on top of that division right now. That defense is very good. It's kind of a no-name kind of defense, but they're a bunch of dogs over there, man. I love that Seattle defense. The whole team.
Leonard Williams this year, 21 tackles, a sack and a half in 7 games. Very excited. Let's move on here.
But he's not a – yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. He'll stuff the middle line. Is that what you're going to say? That's not his.
Not really a sack guy. Yeah. So don't let that fool you. He's a good player.
Moving on, we're going to do this one real quick. It's not a huge move, but Atlanta Falcons are a contender. Atlanta Falcons acquire Contavious Street from the Philadelphia Eagles. The main thing you need to know here, it was just a 7th and 6th round pick swap. The main thing you know here is that they are trying to mitigate the loss of Grady Jarrett. That's what this is.
Yeah, this is just I'm not really sure if he'll start, but he's a nice rotational piece. This is a good move for them. They're not going to make up for Jarrett, but solid move for them.
Yeah, huge move in Chicago. Chicago trades for the Commanders' defensive end, Montez Sweat. Sweat this year, 32 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 7.5 stuffs. I'm not sure what that stat is, and 2 forced fumbles. He's a force on that defensive line, and now he goes over to Chicago to be really the cornerstone of their defense, along with Jalen Johnson if he sticks around. Montez Sweat to the Bears. He goes for a 2nd round pick.
Yeah, Sweat's been underrated his entire career. I mean, he had his least amount of sacks in one season is 5. This year 6.5. This guy's been underrated. He's been more productive sack wise than Chase Young has been, but without the name recognition, without the second overall pick hype. I love this for the Bears, who are just trying to establish something defensively. Obviously, they put a bunch of money towards linebackers now. Linebackers in the offseason. Now they get that D-line beefed up. I love this. And the Commanders are sellers. Decent return. Another win-win.
You got to remember with the Bears, Ryan Poles, their GM, what he said it's a 3-year rebuild. And so that would mean next year is the year they compete. And so you got to think this defense going into this offseason where they're going to have a ton of cap. Jalen Johnson, hopefully they resign him. They have to resign Montez Sweat. They have the 2 linebackers in the middle. That's the makings of a pretty good defense. Their 10 sacks this season are the fewest in the league. So they really badly needed Montez Sweat. Excited about the Bears. Anything else on them?
No, I just hindsight's 2020. I wish it would have just signed Roquan Smith to a big deal. They had Sweat and Jalen Johnson, but you have Edmonds, who's a very good linebacker. You know, good for them. The
next one here, all credit to you because you called this. Vikings acquire quarterback Josh Dobbs from the Cardinals. Of course, Kirk Cousins goes down with an Achilles tear this past Sunday. Josh Dobbs comes in. Presumably, he's going to be the QB1 eventually. I know they said that Jaron Hall is going to start this week, the rookie from BYU. And maybe if he shows out, he keeps the job. But most likely, Josh Dobbs is coming in here to be the starter. This year, playing for the Cardinals, he was a surprise. Completed 62% of his passes, just over 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Also, some rushing numbers here: 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's no slouch. Him and the Vikings, are they still competing for the NFC North?
He might compete for a wild card. I think Dobbs is good enough. He'll keep the offense moving. I'm not sure if it definitely now has a limit to how high it can go, because Dobbs is good, not Kirk Cousins is good. But I like this for the Vikings and for Vikings fans. At least we're trying to win this thing every year. So yeah, I like it. And then the Cardinals. No need for Josh Dobbs. You have your franchise guy as of right now, Kyler Murray coming back. You have a rookie Clayton Tune that you want to see a little bit. So it's another win-win. This is one of my favorite trades of the whole deadline. Was this trade could help both teams out, and it was such an obvious fix for both sides.
Right. And while people would have preferred like a Jacoby Brissett type player or one of those high-end backups, Josh Dobbs is every bit as talented as those guys. And I mean, look out. I mean, this is you give a team like this a real underdog mentality, and who knows what happens. They can make a run here. The NFC North, in my opinion, is not wide open in the sense the Lions aren't any good, but it's not like there's a lot. It's gonna all they got to compete with is Lions. The Packers seem like they're struggling. The Bears might be too late for them. The Vikings have worked hard to get back to 500 or over 500, right? Or 500.
The Vikings are 4-4 right now.
Yeah. So keep an eye on the Vikings. Josh Dobbs, easy guy to root for. Also a rocket scientist.
Also very hard to find a quarterback midseason. Ask the Cleveland Browns how it's like to use a quarterback that's not very good. Good for the Vikings.
The Vikings were buyers and sellers here. They sent Ezra Cleveland, the guard, I believe was drafted just a couple years ago, to the Jaguars. The Jags fortify that interior offensive line. Cleveland started 45 games at left guard for the Vikings before being sidelined by an injury the last 2 games in which Dalton Reisner came in and pretty much took his job. The Vikings sending a 6th-round pick. The Jags are sending a 6th-round pick for Cleveland. Cheap price. I think it's a great move for the Jags. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a kind of an L for the Vikings. I would just kept them either way. I know he's on a contract year, but you can never be without too many good linemen. He's been solid, and the Jaguars just capitalized on a situation where the Vikings had too many, and we'll take them. The Jaguars line is not. I think it's 30th in win rate. It's not very good. It's not a very good offensive line. So this is a win for the Jaguars. I love this for Jacksonville, who's 6-2. They're on top of the world right now. Add a little cherry on top, another nice lineman. I love it. Good for them.
One of the reasons I was thinking I don't love it for the Vikings is that you got to imagine that offense is going to get pretty run heavy now with Madison and Akers. And Dalton Reisner might be fine, but you can never have too much depth at an offensive line, especially if you're going to be that kind of team.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that works out for them. The Lions made a move for a wide receiver that me and you both love. That's Donovan Peoples-Jones, headed to Detroit from the Browns. The Lions are giving the Browns a 6th-round pick in 2025. So a 6th-round pick in 2 years for Donovan Peoples-Jones. That is absolutely great value in my eyes.
That's literally free. Like, just take him. We don't want him.
Yeah, have a pick in 2 years. Peoples-Jones has really not used much in Cleveland. 8 catches for 97 yards, and that's about it. Last year had 61 catches for over 800 yards, 3 touchdowns. So he was a lot more involved last year. Hadn't really been involved this year, maybe with the acquisition of Cedric Tillman and Elijah Moore. But now, talk about him on the Lions.
Yeah, no, I think this kind of, when I first heard this, it was kind of like why the Browns use. But for the Lions part, this makes you think of that Amon-Ra St. Brown injury is a little bit more than they're giving off. Like, yeah, Jameson Williams hasn't really been too much, and Josh Reynolds has been up and down, and Marvin Jones obviously left. This kind of makes you think like maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown is a little more hurt than they're telling us, and this is just a good guy he's a height, weight, speed guy. He's a tall guy who can run, not a bad athlete. He can think he's easily the second best wideout on that team now, like easily.
Yeah, he showed so much last year. I thought he was very impressive. Obviously has that top end speed, but not a small guy. I think he's well over 6'2", I think. Yes, he's going to be a nice addition for that Lions team that we both were talking about needed one more piece maybe after that Monday night game, even though they won that game pretty easily.
But the Brown side is
don't get it.
Look, you're struggling to create offense right now. Even though you scored a lot last week, against the Colts, right? Yeah, but still, for a team that's quarterback is kind of a iffy point. You want to keep as many weapons as you can. I don't understand giving up a weapon like this
for nothing.
And they must really love Tillman or Elijah Moore to give this up. It doesn't really make sense for the Browns. The winner here for me is obviously the Lions.
Yeah. Also, the winner here is Donovan Peoples-Jones. Grew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
Went to Michigan. Yeah. Now plays for the Lions. There's pictures of him as a kid wearing a Lions jersey. Those are always fun stories. So good.
And go to a really good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gender right away.
So,
A couple more here. The Bills acquire cornerback Rasul Douglas from the Packers. I know on all the Packers social media sites, they were mourning the loss of this guy, Rasul Douglas.
Yeah.
He made some big interceptions, some big turnovers for them at key moments, and they fell in love with him soon. But we both agree this is the right move for the Packers.
Yeah, to get a 3rd-round pick for a veteran corner who's older and not going to be part of your long-term plan, just to give a 3rd and Douglas, or a 5th and Douglas for the Bills' 3rd, that's a great deal.
And they signed him off the street a couple years ago. So
yeah,
the return on investment here is through the roof.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then for the Bills, they I think I saw this morning that Elam might be put on IR. This is a great veteran corner. You could just throw him out there immediately. He's like a playmaker corner, which is what you want for a team like the Bills, where they're a little suspect in that secondary right now, especially at corner. So this is a win-win both sides, but obviously the Bills get the better player right now. So love it.
He's referring to Kaiir Elam, who was the 2022 first-round pick. Hasn't really played much this year. Had a strong year last year, but really just, I guess, hasn't fit the bill this year. So
he's been banged up this year, and this morning I saw that they were debating to put him on IR. So it's not a mistake about why they went for Douglas, and also they lost White earlier. Tre'Davious White to injury, so
and he seems to fit in that secondary with just solid, smart, tough veteran players. You think of Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Taylor Rapp. He seems to fit in with those kind of players. Very versatile players as well. Moving on here, we have about 6 minutes. Let's get into it. The biggest trade of the day. The 49ers, with an already stacked defensive line, Joey Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead. They added Randy Gregory, Javon Kinlaw there, Drake Jackson. They now trade for defensive end Chase freaking Young. Oh, my God.
This was the trade that we needed to have for this deadline. We needed the crown jewel for this deadline.
Yes.
And it happened to be one of the teams that are struggling right now that should not be struggling. The Niners acquiring Chase Young, number 2 overall pick, 4 years ago now. This is a great pick for them.
Yeah, what a wild idea to think of Chase Young, Nick Bosa, once again reunited. They played together in Ohio State. They were top 2 picks in back-to-back years. I mean, 2 stud players. I watched Chase Young a couple times this year when he played the Eagles. He looks like he's if not all the way back, he's very close. 15 tackles, 5 sacks on the season. He looks really strong. He's 8th in the NFL with 38 pressures. Adding him to this defensive line is just such a home run, such a Super Bowl move.
Yeah, you have Bosa, obviously. Then you have Drake Jackson already there. You have Randy Gregory that you got from the Broncos for absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
and then you had Chase Young just for perimeter rushers. Then you have obviously Armstead. You have Hargrave. You have Kinlaw in the middle. What this does is that you keep these guys fresh the entire game. Yeah. Rotations, keep mix them up. Bosa's been slow this year because he held out, and it's kind of showing now. But Chase Young gives gives Chase Young something that he's never had before, is a better pass rusher on his team. Well, better, stats wise. Chase Young now get a lot of one-on-ones, and if he's playing the way he's playing this year, he might have a career year just because he might get all the opportunity to be fresh, be healthy, and not see double teams.
Yeah, it truly. If there couldn't be any more pressure on Brock Purdy, I mean, but now they're. Oh God! I said that really weird, but I thought there could be any more pressure on Brock Purdy, but I think there is more now. Like, this team is so ready.
Yeah, we talked about it right after they made this trade. If the Niners don't win now, I don't want to hear any kind of excuses.
Yeah.
You have everything you could possibly want. This is literally a team you create in Madden. Just you start stacking players and stacking superstars. You have everything you want. Now it's just a thing of, can you be healthy until the playoffs? And once you get there, can you win the games? On paper, they have the most talent I have seen in a long time.
Yeah. It has to be an incredible feeling for the faithful there in Santa Clara to know that their owner will just keep writing checks. It seems like this.
Yeah.
I mean, do they apply? I mean, do they does the salary cap apply to them? They just keep going and getting guys.
It's a fugazi. Salary cap for some teams is just fugazi. They'll just manipulate. I know next year they're going to be kind of cap hell, but right now, look, use this little time of opportunity when you have Brock Purdy not getting paid pennies compared to the rest of the team. Yeah. This is what you do. This is why it's so crucial when you have a quarterback on a rookie contract to just go all in around him. And John Lynch has what he just royally about the cuts. He royally screwed up the Trey Lance trade.
Yeah.
But no one remembers that anymore now because he just keeps trading till it gets better and better and better. I mean, you got to take chances. And if he wins one, people will completely forget about it.
Yeah, not a great drafter, but an absolute shark on the free agency market. Quick note here about the 49ers. They already have what many think is the best defensive line, 18 sacks in the season so far. Adding Young here, it's huge. It's for a conditional 3rd-round pick. They will pay him just over $500,000 this year. So just if it couldn't get any better, little nugget on top.
Yeah, and it's the 3rd-round pick that they got. It's a comp pick that they got for D'Amico Ryan's leaving. So it's at the end of that 3rd round. It's not even in the first. It's in the part of the 3rd round where they start throwing out comp picks. It's really a 4th-round pick, but to win for the 49ers and for the Commanders, you get a second for Chase, and you get a 3rd for Sweat. You're obviously in a rebuild. You have a lot of draft picks now. So,
yeah, big move for the Commanders. They now have a 1st, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. That sounds like capital that they could possibly move up and get a quarterback, if you ask me. And just over $90 million in cap space projected for next.
Start tanking right now.
Yeah. They are rebuilding. I love what Josh Harris is doing. If they're going to rebuild the right way. If you're not going to do it all the way, just don't do it.
Yeah.
And
to be honest, that Commanders team, the whole, we thought they would be great. It just burned out and never got going. And if you know it's not working, get out of it and get as much as you can, because Chase Young and Sweat we're about to walk for nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good deal.
Yeah, that's a trade deadline recap here. It was a very exciting time. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Angels Heavenly Top 10 version 9. Right? Did I get that right?
Let's go.
9. Okay,
sure.
we're right
Let's
back.
do it. Yeah. And welcome back to Benched.
What's up?
It is time for my version 9.0 of Angels Heavenly Top 10. Very excited about this one. A lot of movers and shakers at top and the bottom of this list, and let's get into it right now. At number 10, the Dallas Cowboys. A dominant win over the Rams. CeeDee Lamb reminded us what he's capable of. If their defense plays like this is how far this team is dependent on how far their defense can take them. They did not buy anything as far as weapons at the deadline. Might hurt them long term, but a huge game this week against the Eagles. This will show us a lot about who this Cowboys team is and what they're capable of.
Yes, sir.
At number 9, the Seattle Seahawks. I can only describe this team as a professional football team. They don't have any elite guys on either side. They are full of a bunch of really good players led by a veteran head coach who knows what he's doing. Then this defense is underrated, only allowing 50 points in the last 4 games. Now add Leonard Williams. This defense will take them, much like the Cowboys, as far as they go. But offensively, if Geno plays better, they have room to improve, which is crazy because they're 5-2 right now. At number 8, the Buffalo Bills. Good team win over the Bucks. As of right now, they're in my good graces. I'm sure they'll break my heart. But speaking of another good game, another good matchup this week against the Bengals in prime time. This will be a real slingshot. If they were to beat the Bengals in prime time on Sunday, they might move up this list. But right now, they're at number 8. At number 7, the Miami Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey has entered the chat. His first game back has a crucial interception. There's a playmaker to add to that defensive side. And also on top of that, dynamic offense. I still have questions about them in big games, beating big teams, but they have all year to figure that out. Right now, 6-2. O-line's getting healthier and should get rookie speedster Devon HN back. But right now, they're the number 7 team for me.
Okay.
At number 6, the Detroit Lions. After a brutal loss to the Ravens, they kicked some major arse on Monday Night Football against the Raiders, which everyone does now. Rookie Jahmyr Gibbs and rookie Sam Laporta elevate this offense to a different level. If they get these two guys going alongside Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff, and now DNP, Donovan Peoples-Jones, this offense has room to grow still, and the defense just gets it done. They're such a grit team that on defense you can't name 2 guys not named Adam Hutchinson. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But for right now, number 16 in the NFL for me. And number 5, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Big win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now 6-2 on top of the AFC. They did not lose in the month of October, so that will automatically elevate you to a top 5 team in my rankings.
Yeah.
Defense takes the ball away while the offense plays smart. I have still questions about Trevor Lawrence, but as of right now, this team doesn't care. They're winning. They're 6-2. Dominant hold on the whole division. They're one of the better teams in the AFC.
Yeah.
At number 4 is the 49ers. Now, I'm probably going to get heat because I had them over the Jags and the Lions and the Dolphins. 49ers come here at number 4 with a 5-3 record, losers of 3 in a row, but buyers at the deadline. This is more of a confident placement here. They added to that D line. Purdy will hopefully improve. I'm sure he's still concussed right now. They just didn't report it. Debo Samuel being out hurts them. Trent Williams hurts them even more so. Ever since Trent Williams went out, the offense has not looked the same at all.
Right.
So get those two guys back with Shanahan calling these plays. I think they'll bounce back. But I'm not going to overreact. I know I should probably, but I'm not going to overreact too much. But they've fallen out of the top 3 for me at number 4. At number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. They nearly lost a trap game to the Cardinals on Sunday. They nearly lost it, but still, this team is just this team. Lamar Jackson didn't even play well, and they still win these types of games. This team is well built from the ground up. Good offensive line, good D line, good pass rush, good cornerbacks, and obviously Lamar Jackson playing at another MVP level this year. Should have been buyers at the deadline for a running back, but they can get away with a committee approach there. But as of right now, the number 3 team in the NFL for me. At number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, they lost divisional games. It happens, okay? Even though it's to the Broncos, it happens. Everyone has one of those losses that doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. This is one of their losses. But they did feel the effect of no Nick Bolton in the middle of that defense. They got ran on throughout the whole game. They had to fix that. But still, I'm never going to put Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid anything lower than 2 or 3. But, yeah, they rank number 2 this week with room to improve, obviously, because they're the Chiefs. At number 1, fly, Eagles fly, the Philadelphia Eagles. The sign of a great team are the obstacles that they can overcome. They, despite Hurts not playing the same, despite the secondary not being the same, despite having red zone issues, despite a lot of different stuff, they're still 7-1. Great teams just find a way to win. And also, they have, if it weren't for the phenomenal talent that is Tyreek Hill, we'd be talking about AJ Brown as the best wideout in the league, having a phenomenal year this year. Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown connection is probably the top 2 connection in the league right now. Defense just got a dog in Kevin Byard. They'll fix that side. They've been hurt on that side. But as of right now, it's hard. Yeah, find me a better team that's playing better and overcome more than the Philadelphia Eagles. They don't make it. And also they have the best play in football, the most unstoppable play. And this week they threw a variation of it. They did a RB swing. Teams now have to look out. Look, this team is the best in the NFL, and if you don't think so, then you're just wrong. And that is Angels Heavenly Top 10 9.0, brought to you by nobody.
Well done, sir. Well done. Take a breath.
What a great – this list this week was so fun to make because there were so many teams that lost or losing streaks or winning. There's so many tiers of quarterbacks you had to rank and systems, but this top 10 teams are very tough. And if the Bengals win on Sunday, they're the team that was at 11. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that's the first question I had because I know you love the Bengals, and I know it is a discipline for you to not throw the Bengals in here. And so I want to see what happens if the Bengals beat the Bills, the Cowboys beat the Eagles, and the Seahawks beat the Niners. I want to see what you're going to do because those are your pretty much 9 through 11 teams with the Bills sitting there at 8. I don't know. That's going to be so tough to figure out. Glad you're doing it, not me. But it just to think how competitive this top 10 is. The league is in such a good spot, even with all the injuries, even with all the turnover at running back and all that's going on. These are 10 teams that I honestly could see any of these teams win a Super Bowl. I really could. Like, the talent is there. There's a lot of parity in the league. That's what they say. I love your top 4 because it's really hard to penalize a team now for a terrible loss. The Eagles lost to the Jets. The Chiefs lost to the Broncos. The Ravens lost to the Colts. The Niners lost to
the Browns.
The Browns
without Watson,
without Deshaun Watson. And the Colts and the Jaguars lost to the Texans. Everyone kind of has a dumb loss. So I like that you're not overreacting to that. I do think the Eagles are number 1 in the league, not only because they have the best record, not only because they are 7-1, best record, best roster, but I think of their losses to the Jets. And the Jets, at least you can point to something and think and say, okay, well, that is an elite unit they lost to. They lost to that defense, but huge, and you touched it, huge, massive games with massive implications on your list coming up this week.
Cowboys, Eagles,
huge
Bengals, Bills. There's so much good football on this weekend.
Gosh, it reminds me of college when you go into those weekends where number 1's playing number 6 and number 3's playing number 8. It's just like, whoa, these are big dogs. And I wish honestly, I wish that these teams would carry their ranking next to them. So I feel like it would give it some more juice, because this
Also,
week you would have 1 versus 10. You would have what 4 versus 9, like huge matchups. What are you gonna say?
yeah, and also the Chiefs the Bills game, right? One of these games is in London, where it's gonna be you have right the Bills
That's
Bengals is in
Chiefs.
London.
No, that's
No,
Chiefs Dolphins.
Chiefs Dolphins. That's gonna be in London, so you can start all
Germany.
day with great football from literally 6:30 if you're on the West Coast,
Yeah.
to the night game, which is capped off by Bengals Bills.
Yeah, we
So
actually gave the Germans that one. So Germans,
yeah,
so I don't know. I mean, I guess the Germans get the Chiefs and the Dolphins, and the Brits they got some crap games over there.
Oh, they had to see Jacksonville win
Yeah,
3 times or twice in a row,
and
but still,
that's great to bring up though, because I want to talk about Jacksonville. I love that you're giving them their respect here. Listen, they are a team that a lot of people are going to have a hard time believing in because they're not winning impressively. There's not a lot of style points, but they just keep winning. Listen, 5 in a row is not a fluke. 5 in a row that's a good team. And yeah, they may not have the talent of some of the rosters just behind them. You think of the Lions and the Dolphins and the Bills, like those are high-end talent teams. But they're just winning. ETN is really setting the tone for that offense. Lawrence is doing enough. He's taking care of the football, and the defense is playing lights out. I do wish they would have been more aggressive in the trade deadline. I felt like they could have used another piece.
they got Cleveland, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean on the defensive side.
Oh yeah. I would have loved to see them get a corner or maybe a pass rusher. You know how I feel about Walker.
Right.
I could have I would like them to add a piece.
Yeah,
for sure.
But no, overall, I love the list. I love I love looking down the list and thinking, oh yeah, they're really good too. Oh yeah, I mean, at number 10, the Cowboys are 5-2. Like that is, you have some massive talent this year in the NFL, and I'm here for it. It's gonna be really good.
And the Bengals are right there knocking at the freaking door. Like
Bengals,
if they win
Browns.
Sunday, Bengals, Browns, like you have teams that are like just about there, missing 2 or 3 pieces or a slow start or whatever whatever happened. This year you have some great teams in the NFL and a lot of good quarterbacks, which is why we have great teams.
Do you have teams that were just on the outside?
It's the Bengals and the Browns. Those are my teams that are right there at the edge. Browns, if they can get the quarterback situation settled with Watson and the question marks there, and the Bengals, they're if they can win, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough because Cowboys lose, they're falling to 5-4. Bengals win. Next week will be very fun because a lot of things gonna happen next week. So
right. Okay, that is Angels Heavenly Top 10 version 9. We're gonna get into a game preview real quick for Thursday Night Football, which is all of a sudden a very fun game to watch. We are gonna see the Titans at 3-4 taking on the Steelers at 4-3. And a week ago, this would have been like, oh, okay, well, it's not gonna be a great game. You got Kenny Pickett maybe coming back, but the Steelers are probably gonna win because the Titans are an absolute dumpster fire. And then steps on the field from the second round. No longer dating what's her name, who sat by him for that whole draft fiasco. Will freaking Levis. What are you gonna say?
You know the story behind Will Levis and his girlfriend.
I don't, but I'm sure you do. What's up?
Okay. All right. Okay. This is if you were on Twitter after Will Levis's breakout game, you heard the full story. I get the full story. So this is the story. This is just what I heard on Twitter, and I've heard a lot of sources say this is what this is what happened. So Will Levis was dating that girl who obviously was shown all over the NFL draft. She was shown about 8 times. Anytime you have a hot girl on TV, you're going to show her a lot.
Yeah.
So, okay. He gets drafted second round, right? And then shortly at some point, them two as a couple go to a Morgan Wallen concert. Okay. They get asked to go backstage. Morgan Wallen gives her his number. Will Levis finds the number on his girlfriend's phone, dumps the girlfriend. Who, and by the way, I know I'm a big fan. Morgan Wallen is a huge Tennessee Titans fan.
Oh.
So Morgan Wallen's knifed the second-round pick quarterback. Now, everyone was saying this is even a bigger dub than the win. It's a bigger dub to Will Levis to showing the girl you might missed out on a future superstar quarterback because his first game out of the freaking gate, 4 touchdowns, dropping bombs to making Hopkins look like he's back in his prime again.
Prime Hopkins.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, out of nowhere, this guy shot into the stratosphere. I've watched so much film and game breakdown on Will Levis just to come with the conclusion that he's just a gunslinger. That's all.
Wise, which is what they need. They need someone just with some balls who's going to go out there and go for it. Yeah. And fantasy-wise, I know you in our most important league, you snuck him onto your roster. In another league, I snuck him onto my roster, and you can't help but be excited about this kid. He's big, he's strong, he looks the part. He's a little weird. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
He debunked that. He doesn't do that.
Seen him do it.
But either way, look, this Titans team has been sleeping giants as far as offensive playmakers. They have Hopkins, obviously. We know what he can do. Treylon Burks is a very good wideout. Size, weight, speed. He is a very good first-round talent. You have Chick Okonkwo, right? Okonkwo, very good athlete, very good tight end. You have Kyle Phillips, and then you have Derrick Henry. If you throw a quarterback who can do something in this offense, stats Ryan Tannehill for not doing anything. I think this might be the last time we see if he performs well tonight. Not a chance in the world we see Ryan Tannehill we should never see him again for the Titans. It should be Will Levis' job for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how he performs here, but I agree with you.
No, if he performs
every chance. He should have every chance to have this job, and it should be taken away from him at this point because no Titans quarterback has played like this in the last couple of years. Even prime Tannehill hasn't played like this. And so Levis, he's also a great athlete. If you see him run, he has some burst. He's a big, strong kid. This is gonna be a fun game. He has pretty much turned it around for the Titans. I honestly believe if he doesn't have the game he had Sunday, Derrick Henry isn't on this team, Jeffrey Simmons isn't on this team, DeAndre Hopkins isn't on this team. I think they sell everyone and they start over. But that gave them some hope. The Titans are the type of team where Vrabel's thinking, listen, I don't need to be a number 1 seed. I don't need to be one of the most celebrated team. Just get me in the dance and give me a chance. And wow, see what I did there?
Yeah, a little rhymage.
But nice. No, he believes, hey, just give me a puncher's chance and I'll take it. Mm-hmm. Like he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, now I told you about because you're an Eagle fan. I felt like maybe they probably should have traded Kevin Byard to the Eagles. Maybe they would have a good team. But either way, they have a good team. They're only one game out of 500. Like 500. So this would be a fun game. This would be a fun game. I can't wait to watch it.
The spread's really low at 36.5. So they are not buying the Will Levis breakout.
Maybe they're not buying the Matt Canada-led offense. That's what that too. Yeah.
Couple of big names in this game. Obviously, T.J. Watt, 8.5 sacks, tied for third most in the NFL. He's one of the premier pass rushers. That will be a problem.
Phenomenal.
For Will Levis.
Yeah, the Titans O-line is not very good, and Watt is very good. So that's gonna be pretty fun for him.
Expect big games. Sorry, go
ahead. He'll have a welcome to the NFL moment when Watt comes off the edge, and yeah.
Expect big games from Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears. They've been fantastic last couple of games. The Pittsburgh is one of the worst run defenses in the NFL, allowing 4.5 yards per carry to opponents. That has to be probably where Mike Vrabel is going to start his attack there on the ground, just kind of try to impose his will on this Pittsburgh team. And
but you know who's coming back? Also, Cam Hayward's coming back too.
Yes,
that might help out that little stat you just put out there because they've been really, really bad against running backs.
Yeah. And then you saw there Joey Porter Jr. named as a full-time starter. No more earn your way on this team. No more earn your reps. He's done enough. And so we'll see probably Joey Porter Jr. against DeAndre Hopkins. Most likely. DeAndre Hopkins, I know, played against his dad. So that's interesting.
Also, another rookie who's might get a welcome to the league moment. Hopkins is very good.
Have you followed him on social media by any chance?
Hopkins? No.
He has posted so many video collages of his game on Sunday. Just like every different angle. Like He is taking his victory laps on his 3 touchdown performance.
He's probably hyped about a guy who could throw the ball past 10 yards and throw it not accurately, just throw it to him. So probably hyped too.
Yeah, we'll see. A couple things we do want to see from Levis, and you kind of touched on it there. The accuracy wasn't great. He kind of just chucked it up a couple times. But one of those throws, man, where he's rolling to his right and then dropping it in a bucket in the left side of the end zone, fantastic throw.
He's got a rocket. He's got a cannon, and I can't wait. And I want to see him test out I want to see him spread this thing out. Put Derrick Henry in a bunch of box. This is gonna be great for Derrick Henry. If they can get a guy who can make that safety drop out of the box, they can play too high. Henry will have another great year. This is great for the whole team. Yeah, I love this for
just
the whole
to give
team.
that threat. Hey, you walk that safety into the box. Minka, whoever it's going to be, walk that safety into the box. We will throw it over the top to Hopkins or Burks. Both those guys can fly. So whole new element to this offense. Let's talk Steelers offense a little bit here. They've been struggling, man. It's almost like I don't know how they're winning games with this offense, the way they're playing. Najee Harris, obviously, a shell of himself. Kenny Pickett, not a terribly effective quarterback. George Pickens kind of up and down, although he's been way more consistent, I think, than he's been his whole career lately. And then Deontay Johnson back.
Yeah, I think Matt Canada is obviously the figurehead of why they struggle. But this team is too talented to be this bad. They have 2 good running backs, and Najee Harris is good at least. I don't think he's great. I think he's good. Jaylen Warren's good. They have 2 good wideouts, Pickens obviously, and then Deontay Johnson. It's just this Matt Canada thing is just getting out of hand. Where now it's more of a pride thing. I think like we're gonna make this guy work because you guys hate him so much. Right. They shout "Fire Canada" stuff at every Pittsburgh sporting event. Hockey, they shout it everywhere. This team is done. Fan base is done with Matt Canada.
Oh yeah. He feels it too. I saw an interview I think he gave yesterday. He dropped like a cell phone or something, or someone dropped a cell phone in the media pool, and he picked it up. And as he's picking it up, he said they'll probably find a way to blame this on me too. And he picks it up, and you can tell this guy's feeling it for sure.
Look, if the common denominator in every bad offense is the coordinator, you might want to look at the coordinator, buddy. Like I'm not saying, like, look, you had weapons, you've had first round talent, you have. If you can't make it work, maybe it's you. Just saying.
This might be there.
But what do I know? I'm just a guy on a podcast.
It's going to be a great game there. I believe it's in. I can't find it, but I think it's in Tennessee, isn't it?
Tennessee. Yes. No. It's in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Those terrible towels will be rocking all night. Yep. And Pittsburgh, they are an awesome place. I love when they play in Pittsburgh.
Great atmosphere. Yeah.
Great atmosphere. The towels are going.
It's November. It's going to start to get cold.
Getting a little cold. You want Derrick Henry in the cold against the – this is
man. This is football, baby. I love it. Thursday night's going to be a great game. Hopefully, I'll be back in L.A. That'd be a great thing.
How are you feeling about Al Michaels? I know Amazon gets these Thursday night games. Al Michaels covers it. Obviously, one of the legends of TV broadcasting.
He's an absolute legend. Is he as sharp as he's ever been? No, he obviously isn't.
No.
But I don't know. It doesn't bother me because he's Al Michaels. Like, we're just happy to have him. Because when he's gone, you're going to miss him. There's another Al Michaels in the pipeline right now.
Yeah.
And so,
he just showed a little bit of his age in these last couple of games. Like, I love him to death.
For sure.
I grew up with him and John Madden calling Monday Night Football games. What a way to grow up.
He does reference John Madden a little much for me. But I love Al Michaels. I'm never going to get down on him. I was listening to the Eagle game on Sunday or watching, and Mark Schlereth was there, and he's an absolute freaking idiot. And so
calling games. I know you always
he's a moron
against Schlereth.
Yeah. He's famous for pissing his pants and winning a couple championships 49 years ago. But anyway, that's the kind of announcer I can't get enough of, or I have enough of. Al Michaels, though, no. And then paired with Herb Street, just a consummate professional, it's fine.
Herb's just he must know so much football. He does college and NFL at such a great level. You listen to him during those games, he knows the NFL. He knows the roster that he's covering. Yeah, and then the Amazon guys, the on the field guys, the Fitzpatrick, Richard Sherman,
they're fine.
They're okay. Yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
So overall, a pretty good add to this. Thursday Night Football now has they're getting a personality now. That's what they're doing. They're getting a brand now.
Yeah, I love where Monday Night Football is. I think Buck and Aikman on Monday Night Football is just that's because that's the American pastime. Get those boys on there, let them go for the next 15 years, whatever. And then next year, Brady's still looming out there. He's still supposed to be calling a game. So we'll see what that's like.
Yeah.
Maybe Kirk Cousins is an announcer next year. I don't know. But
Romo's been outshining. Romo was the hotness. Now no one even talks about Romo.
Romo needs to get himself in a sexier network. CBS, it's like great, but we're good with the yellow.
He's got to become
the gold jacket.
Yeah, the gold jacket.
We're good.
Him and Jim Nantz are very good. No, him and Jim Nantz are very good.
They're
awesome.
Don't
see them a lot because
like
that's the CBS's dogs. But
they're not going to let
comparatively to what we're seeing on Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, they need to catch up.
Absolutely. That is a show for today. Awesome show. That was fun. That was great.
Yeah, fun.
Today's show is every reason why I freaking love football. It's just such a good time right now.
Every week is just different. Like you get teams that are 3 weeks ago I was literally saying the 49ers are the best team in football. Now they've lost 3 straight. Like football is such a great thing to cover because any given Sunday, anybody can win. The Broncos just give up 70 points to Miami, just beat the Chiefs. Anything can happen.
It's going to be a good time here. This is Wednesday's show. We will see you Friday, recapping Thursday Night Football. Should be a good one. Also getting into Friday's questions, Sunday's answers, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, this show is dedicated to Josh McDaniels. I want to reiterate how happy I am that he's not head coach anymore. I'm a Bronco fan, so I don't like the Raiders anyway. So, bye, Josh
dedicated
McDaniels.
to Raider
I'll
Nation.
see you later, buddy.
Dedicated Raider Nation.
Yeah, sure,
Congratulations.
Sure.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Ziggler, McDaniels out. I love it. That's very strong.
See ya. See you, buddy.
We will see you Friday. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good week.
Bye.